So find a way of sitting that's comfortable for you. That could either be crisscross applesauce. That could even be with your legs extended out in front of you. So we'll start by owning what feels right for us. Maybe we don't know, so we try a few things and say, I like this better. But let's just start inviting ourselves to come onto our mat. In mind, in breath, and body. Maybe spend a few breaths letting that sink in. What does that mean? Inviting myself. Come on the mat and be here fully. Present. Accepting of myself as I am. Yoga means to create a union. So be willing to arrive here in connection with your true self, your highest self, your physical self. Now just ask yourself, am I sitting upright? Or am I slumping? Am I leaning? Do I know? Am I upright? My legs sitting upright. I said sitting upright, did you get rigid? Another term we try to live by when we're on our mat, in our practice, is ease and steadiness. Basically, be able to be in your body, in this shape, in this breath, with ease and no strain. So if you catch yourself straining, stop that. And allow for some joy, allow for some smiles. Good. We'll just start to invite a little bit of movement as we breathe in and reach the arms up and just feel the arms moving. Exhale, bringing the hands to center. Repeat that if you like. Breathing in, feeling the arms moving, reaching, lengthening, exhaling, pulling whatever's up in the heavens down into us. And then breathe in. Whatever image is coming to your mind, let it be there. Exhale. It's your image. It's how this movement is making you feel. Breathe in. Remember, no strain. And exhale. I'm just going to rest my hands on my knees. You can rest your hands in your lap. My lap is kind of occupied right now. And let's just check in with the neck and let it go around in a circle. Maybe you're noticing how some muscles in your neck are attached into the muscles in between your shoulder blades and down your back. Can you affect how you're moving that creates greater ease and less discomfort in between your shoulder blades? Maybe we're noticing as we do this movement. Notice how is this making you? You can go faster, you can go slower. Space, but it's just upright. We'll tuck the chin in, round the spine. Turn sideways here. Round the spine. Oh, how does that feel? It will lift the chest. Nothing real big. Up and just feeling high. How does that feel? And remember, no strain. If you cough or if it's making your neck hurt, with more softer or not. And if you like, we'll go back and forth. So everyone gets to move in a way that works for them.
Belinda, your music causes your voice to cut out pretty bad.
Okay.
Thank you. I was going to say something too.
Yep.
That's great. All right, let's bow and flex the spine. Up and back. Up and back. Good. Notice parts of your back that are moving that maybe haven't gotten a lot of attention lately. And then we'll come up to a neutral space. I'm going to invite us to open the arms out nice and wide. And then just rotate the arms backwards and forward. So just twist your arms up and down. Can we do this with no strain? Good. And then we'll touch our shoulders with our fingertips. Check in again that you're breathing in a nice, smooth manner. And then let's see about circles with the elbows. Now, some of you could try to touch those elbows out in front and just notice how that makes you feel in between your shoulder blades. Maybe working the neck at the same time. So we'll start to realize how much everything is connected. Everything is connected to everything. Change your direction. And then just notice how this makes you feel. Maybe like a slow motion. Chicken wing. Sea turtles. Good, and we'll come back to center. Reach those arms out. And can we do wrist rotations? How does that feel in the wrists? Can you sink the shoulders down? You don't have to hold those arms very high. So start to pay attention. How much strain is going on in the shoulders and neck? And are we enjoying this? Smooth movements of the fingers. Change direction. Maybe just some gratitude that these hands and fingers are responding to our brains. Good, and we'll take the right arm across and maybe hook under it. If you don't want to hook under it, you could just take your arm and just give yourself a little hug behind that shoulder. And then we'll twist to the left. Whoa, feel the breath going into your chest and your belly and out. And then we'll release, coming back out nice and open. We're moving more of the upper body now. And take the left arm across. Maybe just a little hug here. If you're wanting to hook, try to be above your elbow joint. And then twist. Ooh, feel what wants to move, what doesn't want to move. Maybe breathe out the mouth and poke out the tongue. And release back to center. Big arms open. Could you reach this arm to the left some more? Could you reach this arm to the right some more? And then we'll reach up and see if you can grab both elbows. Good. And then a little twist. Try to relax your shoulders down your back. Take your breath with you everywhere we go, and we'll twist. Maybe see if you push your legs down, does that help you twist a little bit more, or does that create more strain? And then back to center. There is no should, just what we experience. All right, let's be a little playful and see if the body wants to be a little like a rubber band. Keep sliding the shoulder blades down the spine. Relax your neck. And back up. Ooh, always feel free to make sounds as you go. And over to the other side. We're moving energy. And sound is energy. And bring ourselves back up. I'm going to release those arms. Feel free to shake those out a little bit. Ah. And then I'm going to straighten my legs and just shake them up and down. Shake them up and down. Good. Point and flex in the toes and the heels, waking up our feet, looking at our toes. Ankle rotations. Can we make a circle with our feet? Maybe some snap, crackle, pop in our ankles. That will be me. Change direction. Ah. And then legs are straight. They can be as far apart as you like. Or if you want them in a little closer together, that's up to you. And again, we get to play around with it. What do we like? And I like to move a little bit of my butt flesh out of the way so that I can feel my butt bones, aka sitting bones, on the floor. Now, this is where a lot of us may like to be with our back just kind of slumped and slouched. And we're just going to ask the belly muscles, hi, cutie, and we'll sit upright, shoulders back, chin level. And then we get to feel how much work the belly muscles, the waist muscles are doing to actually hold this upper body. Like the bulk of our body weight, our organs, all of our fluids are from the hip up. And so all of these muscles in the front are keeping us contained and erect. Push the backs of the legs down and maybe just appreciate how much work is going on, still without straining. So this is called staff. This is the base posture of all sitting postures. Hold yourself accountable when you're watching TV, playing a game. Can you sit like this? And let's breathe in and reach the arms up. And let the upper body come forward. Now, if you need, many of us might need to bend those knees a little bit, right? That might cause a lot of strain on the back. On the backs of the legs. Let your neck go. And roll the spine up. Let's see if we'll do this a few times and warm up the body. Breathing in. Feel the upper body lifting, bottom body strong, and come forward. You can go at any pace you like, maybe massaging your feet and ankles, and roll the spine up. How does that feel to let your hands trace your legs? Breathing in, exhale, coming forward. Cool. Let's hang out here for a breath or two. And if there was a mirror in front of your face, do you know what your face would look like looking back at you? Is it a yoga face? Is it a strained face? And let's roll the spine back up. Good. I'm going to invite us to bring the bottoms of the feet together. We're now just coming into the hips a little bit. We've done a little bit of spine work, a little bit of hamstrings. We're getting to know how our body feels. All right, so try not to like yank it so far up that we cave that spine again. You want to be nice and upright. Few neck rotations. Oh, feel this difference. The spine is a little bit more upright and erect, having to hold itself more accountable than when we were in crisscross applesauce. Change direction. And for some of you who have been here for a while, as you're going around from side to side, ask yourself, can I bring that ear closer to that shoulder? Don't bring the shoulder up closer to the ear. And then change your direction. Can you hear your breath at the same time? Oh, notice how some of these movements are making you feel emotional. Some movements may make us feel childlike and playful. Others might remind us of some strain or stress in our lives. And then come on back to center. Press the inner thighs open. And maybe let's lift the butterfly wings and press. And just feel, how does the groin feel? What wants to move? Maybe you notice some things you're feeling in your low back. So we don't want to lean into the tension points with aggression, right? If you feel a tension point, can you soften around it? Don't force into it. Let's breathe in and pull the chest up a little bit. And then see if the upper body wants to come forward. Let's just find a few breaths here, soften. Remember, don't tense around the tense points. Soften around the tense points. Notice if you're forcing the body. Can you be kinder and softer and more accepting? Listen to what the body is telling you about, what feels tight, what wants to move a little more freely, what wants to play. And we'll roll the spine up. Ooh, so that's the most intense that we've been in the hips in an open position. We're going to come back a little bit into some core. We're going to walk these feet in. And I've got about a foot of space in between my knees. My feet are flat. Go ahead and bring your hands to your knees and pull the chest up. I still don't want to be rounded back here. I want to ask the tummy to hold my chest, shoulders down. And I get it. The tummy may have said, I didn't ask to do this work. Oh, go back to bed. It's like, it'll be all right. You can hang out with us for a little bit. And maybe even squeeze your tummy muscles a little bit without sucking the tummy in. Try to let your mind play with that for a little bit. What does that mean? Squeeze my tummy muscles without sucking the tummy in. Now I'm just going to lift one leg. Pick one. We've only got two, so you can choose. And then maybe don't hold it. Breathe. And then we'll bring that down, sit back upright, see if we can ask our spine to remain that accountable. And then we'll lift the other leg. We'll give it a manual assist. Shoulders soft. Ease and steadiness. And then hands free. Breathe. And lower it down. Now maybe use your hands to hold the spine up or say, hey, can I do that without a manual assist? Squeeze the belly without sucking it in. And then let's see, can we just lift one leg? Breath. Feeling a little bit more work. Just checking in on the engine. On that inner strength. Lowering it down. And lift. And lower it down. And what the heck? Let's just go for it. We'll lift both feet. What? Play. Breathe. Fall. Bottoms of the feet together and come forward. Ooh. Enjoy the relief and the release. There are no shoulds. We're all just here to experience and notice our own patterns, how we engage in movement, how much we rely on strain. And when we will let ourselves feel good. Let's roll that spine up. Then I'll invite us to coming around the hands and knees. So we've been sitting in sitting postures, feeling what it takes to have the spine hold itself erect. And now we get to be in kneeling postures. If your knees are sensitive, you could just get a towel or a blanket and have it down under your knees for a little extra padding. Wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hip joint, okay? So I'll just show, like here, my knees now are way far back from my hip joint. If I walk them in even further, my knees are forward from my hip joint. So I'm just trying to stack, kind of like an erector set or Legos, having an even distribution of the weight stacked evenly over the bones. And then let's bow and flex the spine like a cat and a cow. For those of you who have little people with you, if you want to do a moo and a meow, that's perfectly fine. Even if you don't have little people with you and you want to moo or meow. Good. Now, if your wrists get sensitive, you could always make a fist and rest on your knuckles, okay? Because that is a lot of compression on the wrists. I'm going to twist my right arm open. And just feel the spine. Feel the arm that's on the floor and how much pressure you have to apply there. Laurel, I'm really seeing the right hip kicking out to the right. So see if you can bring in your own mental awareness of your hips and try to stay stacked. Are we remembering to breathe here, or are we sacrificing breath in order to twist? Check in with your neck. You can look down at the left hand. Are you creating strain in between those shoulders? And then we'll bring the right hand down, root into it, and twist. Ah. Full breath. And we'll release that down. And we're going to go into what's called child's pose. I like to start off with my knees nice and wide, and then let the butt sink back toward the heels. And you can just rest your chest or your forehead on the mat. Oftentimes, right, infants and newborns sleep like this. Feel your knee joints, your hip joints, accepting your body weight. Notice what your body likes about this shape, this posture. What's taking too much pressure, and will you change something? We don't come into this practice to create pain, to create suffering. We want to create a balanced experience. Good. You can stay in this pose. You can stay in any pose that you like and catch up anytime you want. So if you want to join, we're going to come up onto hands and knees. Bring those knees back in together. And extend the right leg back. And if your right is left, that's cool. Like I said, we've only got two choices. Notice your breath, and notice how much you're tensing your shoulders here, and just kind of ask yourself, do I need to tense them? Maybe soften them on purpose, sag into it. Just so that you notice, how much strain do you carry with yourself? And we'll bring the knee in, out, up, and back. A few circles. And if you've been coming for a while, see if you can keep your body weight square over that left knee and that you're not shifting to the left. You're keeping those nipples over thumbs, and you're feeling the core muscles pulling that thigh, and you're feeling that hip socket. How smooth does it want to be? Change direction. How does this feel? Usually it starts feeling nice and free for me until it starts to feel like work, and I can feel some heat generating in that butt muscle, in the hip and the thigh. I'm going to straighten that right leg back, and I'm going to step it through in between my hands. And then left hand down, and we can revolve. Now you can bring that right hand behind your back if you like, or if you really want to have those arms expanded open, go ahead. Maybe recall when we were sitting upright and we reached the arms out wide. Does it feel the same here? Or what's going on? Are you crunching in the shoulders? Can you try to have the same feeling? Free movement in the neck and shoulders. Breathe in. Breathe out. We'll bring that right hand down, step the right knee back. Get in position for your tabletop again. Eyes open or closed. Maybe play with it with your eyes closed and see what you notice. And we'll reach that left leg back. Left leg working on its own. Notice whether you're leaning to the right or not. And then we'll pull the knee in, out, up, and back. Hip circles. Big, wide, playful circles. Maybe there's a sound that you make with it. And we change directions when you're ready. I think I was a little hasty on that side. And then we'll straighten that leg back. Push through the heel. Maybe you'll feel a stretch somewhere in your legs. Check in on those shoulders that you're not tensing around them. And then we'll bring that knee in, stepping that foot up. Right hand is down. Another twist. And we will revolve. Make a choice. One is not better than the other, okay? So don't think, oh, I've got to have my arms outstretched and long to be doing it right. Instead, can I actually move with ease and steadiness for me? And just notice how it makes me feel emotionally, physically. We're seeking to have some union and some ease. That's all. And release. I'm going to bring the left hand down. I'm going to tuck the right toes. Maybe straighten that right leg a bit. And step that right foot up. And then we get to hang out. So the upper body just droop, sag. Your knees can be soft. Feel your legs supporting you. This is the very first time that we have stood now on both feet. Maybe shift more weight into the right leg and feel the right leg supporting you. And then shift into the left leg and feel that left foot, ankle, thigh, hip, knee supporting you. And then you can just shift back and forth, noticing each leg and how they do their job differently. Because they're not the same, nor should they be. Can we appreciate how different sections of the foot and the knee operate differently, have different strengths? Come to center and we'll roll the spine up. Take your time. Try to be as gloopy gloppy as you can. And then we'll lift the head up and we're arriving in our upright space. First time standing in what's called mountain. Your feet could either be together or apart. That's up to you. But feel out whether the feet are even and parallel, not angled out to the sides. And that's just holding it accountable for the legs and the bones to be holding us in a neutral space. Few shoulder rotations. Change direction. Feel the difference standing now. Try not to lock your knees. Our torso has the support of the legs. The torso doesn't have to work as much as it did when we were sitting. The arms can come out open. Ask, am I reaching? All right. Left arm under, right arm over. Great big hug. And then see if you can creep those fingertips a little closer together. Big hug. Ah. Try to keep the chin as relaxed as you can so we don't create strain in the neck. And we'll twist to the left. Now as you're twisting, use your left hand to pull the right shoulder into the twist. And breathe in between those shoulder blades. Feel the flesh stretching between the shoulder blades. And then come on back to center and we'll do the other side. Twisting. And I'm using that right hand to pull. Oh, this left shoulder. So come on into this twist with me. This twisting hug. Breathe. Feel your waist twisting, your ribs twisting. Feel both shoulder blades pulling apart from one another, chin level. Come on back to center. Now, see if those elbows want to lift up. They may not move very much. Try to keep your chin tucked. I know this tends to be kind of smothery. Lifting those elbows and just try to feel what you're noticing in between those shoulder blades. And then lower the elbows down. We'll release those arms. Breathe in, reaching those arms up. Exhale, taking it forward. Really let the head go. Maybe shake the head left or right, up or down. Come up onto the tippy toes. Just feel the feet rock back on the heels. Be in a physical body, doing physical body things. Good. Now we'll bend the knees and wrap the arms behind the knees. Different kind of hug here. You might need to bring the legs a little closer together if you like. Belly is flush on the thighs. Get a good grip on those hands. Look up, smile, grimace, and pull. Ah, this is a great sound effect space. Now you can look down, no strain in the neck. Really pull. Feel your belly muscles, feel your arms, feel your legs, and let it go. Let's take a few clearing, cleansing breaths here. Feeling the strength in the body, strength of the legs. Let go of the back muscles. All right, let's give a nice little wraparound hug again, bending those knees. Drop the butt. Ready, and hug and pull. Pull, pull, pull. Like you're trying to stand up, but you're using those arms to resist. Come on, give it a little bit more. And let it go. Feel that effort kind of draining out of the arms, draining out of the legs. Maybe you're feeling that draining sensation in different areas of the body. One more time. Let's give it all we got. Wrap those arms around, drop that butt, and pull. Sometimes I like to say, think about something that really ticked you off this week. Pull, 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 and then say, I'm done with it. And let it go. I don't have to hold that anymore. I don't have to give it any more energy. Feel it dissipating and releasing out of us. Good, and then roll the spine up, taking your time. All right, so I'm going to invite us to widen ourselves out, okay? This is my left leg, and my left leg is bent. My right leg is straight, but my hips are still aiming toward the camera. Try not to let that bent knee go past the toe, all right? So we want to just be moderate here. Tailbone under, just a little slight twerk action. And we're sinking down. Let's bring the hands behind us, either finding an interlace with the fingers, or you could hold a strap or a towel, and see if you can open the chest, like pulling the shoulder blades together behind us, tuck the chin down, and sink in that bent knee. Really let the tummy breathe. Then lift the gaze. Take your time so you don't knock yourself over and lose your balance. Lifting the chin. Keep pulling the shoulder blades together. Feel the throat stretching. Good. Bring the head back to a neutral space. Release the arms. Reach them out. Glance over the front fingertips. Shoulders, let them sag. Elbows, let them sag. As though your arms are just floating. And now let's straighten that left leg. We'll just twist and spin on the left heel, spin on the right heel, and sink. So now we're in our standing posture, but our legs are wide. Spine is still upright. Tailbone is under, and we get to feel this leg, how much it wants to hold us. But guess what? We got two legs on the ground. So what's the straight leg doing? How much support can it give us? All right, now if you like, you can do both elbows here, or take the arms back behind your back. Which one are you feeling like your body really wants to feel? Can you let your belly go? I really mean it. Let that belly go. Sink in the legs. Hear your breath. Sink a little bit more. If you want. Remember, you can come out anytime, and we'll straighten that leg. I'm going to release the arms. I'm going to spin on the right heel, so now both feet are parallel. Try not to roll onto the inside of the arches of your feet. Press into the outside edges of the feet. You can give a little give in the knees. We try not to lock our knees ever. And then we're just going to let the upper body come forward. This tends to be a wonderful crowd favorite. Knees can be bent. Let that upper body go. Upper body hanging. Are we letting it hang? Or do we have muscles tensing to prevent the muscles from sagging? Letting go takes practice. Letting go takes trust. Maybe wiggle your toes as a way of testing. Feel your breath. Good. And we can bring the hands down on the floor out in front of us. So we're in that nice kind of tabletop with the arms. Let's bring the left hand down beneath our face and twist. So we did this on the kneeling position. We get to feel the chest twisting. All right, so I'm going to do some left brain, right brain stuff, right? So pull the left hip up and back. Right hip down and forward, or ignore me completely. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel where the pressure is in your feet. Is it even in your feet? And let's switch. Let's do the other side. You may notice I tend to like to look down at the hand. So I don't put much strain in my neck as I do this, and I really isolate my waist to do the twisting. And I feel the rooting and the stabilizing through the arms and the legs. Breathe in. Breathe out. Massage your organs in the twist and the breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's bring that arm down and walk our way over to the right leg. If you need to have those knees soft, go ahead. And then just see about a little hug. Could you bring your head closer to your shin? And breathe. Remember, ease and steadiness soften around intensity. Soften in between those shoulder blades. Let's walk it on over to the other side. Try not to knock yourself over when you're moving. Breathe in. Breathe out. Can you let the neck go here? We'll come back to neutral so you can just hang out here, or see if you can walk your hands in between your legs if you want to play with that. Let it be playful. Knees can be soft if you're doing this. But really let that upper back and neck and shoulders go. Maybe wiggle your jaw, your tongue. You can make all the faces you want here. Nobody can see you. Awesome. And we'll bring the hands down. I'm going to bring the knees down. And once again, if you want to put a pillow or blanket under your knees, go right ahead. I'm going to show you from behind. Try not to have the feet coming in together. I want to keep them parallel. And then I want about a fist width in between the thighs. All right, so this is camel. Notice that my head and my shoulders and my hips are on the same line. Here's where many of us are. The butt goes back and the chest is forward. We're kind of zigzaggy. And the more that we actually try to bring the butt over the knees, you might start to feel a little stretch here or some pinching or aggravation in the low back. Try not to squeeze the butt. You could bring your hands to the low back for a little support. Try to push down a little gently through the hands, giving the low back a little bit of space and traction. Hips over the knees. Now, let the tummy go. Let it poke out. Don't poke it out. Give that belly some freedom. Soften the front of your chest. Let that whole area breathe and move. And then use the hands to just push forward a little bit. Now, please take note. I did not say tilt your head up and back. So keep the head growing tall. Now, try to aim your breastbone toward the ceiling. Pull the belly button toward the ceiling. Still, I'm not saying go backward. Hands pushing forward. Breathe. If you've got to come out, please come out. Please come out if you're feeling anything pingy going on in your back. And let's bring ourselves upright. And let's just sit back on the heels for a second. So I've said we're doing the basics of any posture, okay? So we're going to go for a little bit of fun here. We're going to thread the fingers like we're going to serve some volleyball. Yay! All right. I'm going to bring this down, making a V with my forearm. And I'm going to put my head on the floor, the very top of my head. That's all. And just hang out here and see if we can breathe in the smotherage, because some of us have more smotherage than others. And if you can, ask your shoulder blades to try to reach up to the ceiling. So feel that action of trying to just slide the shoulder blades up to the ceiling. It ought to take some weight off of the top of your head. Now you can stay here or you can come out because maybe you're like, I hate this. So this is the basic preparatory of Sirsasana or headstand. Eyes open and just look around. Just get familiar with, wow, I'm seeing the world from this vantage point. Some of you may wish to tuck your toes and see if you can lift your butt up. Oh, and you might be like, oh, okay, I tried that. I'm coming down. Take your breath with you. If you're sticking with it, go ahead and stick with it. Shoulders up to the sky. Try not to dump weight on your head. Use your arms instead. And then gently bring your knees down. And we'll come up to sitting. Basics of Sirsasana. Yay! Sirsasana! All right, let's take those arms out. Rotate and rotate. Very easy for us to dump and tense into the shoulders in that space. So we get to work this out a little bit. Good. Bringing the hands behind us, find that interlace again, and open up the chest here. Feel both sides of the chest pulling away. Show you sideways here. My wrists go down and then up. Try to pull your head upright. Tailbone under. Try not to dump in the low back. And just breathe here. Try to make this a natural space. Like, yeah, I chill like this all day long. And then we'll come forward and just see how far you can go while keeping the arms here. And breathe. Good. Let's release those arms. All right. We're going to go through a little bit of a flow to get the blood flowing, working a little bit before we come down and start to cool down in some reclining postures. So let's go to our child's pose. Where we just salute the day. We salute the rising of the sun, the spinning of the earth, and just feel our connection in the natural world, our celebration of all of that, with what's called a sun salutation. So we're actually just going to shift forward, lift your ankles, come forward to our hands and knees plank, and lower down to your belly. Lengthen those legs. Lift the chest up gently into cobra. You can make a hissy snake sound if you want. And then come back to hands and knees. Push the butt to the sky, dropping your head down for downward facing dog. Soften the shoulders, maybe turn your head left and right. You could pedal your heels up and down. And then look forward You can bring one knee down and step the feet up, or just step your feet up, whatever is easiest for you. Rolling the spine up, reaching up to the skies, to the heavens. Hopefully you have a window you can see out of here. Exhaling down to the earth, maybe touching the earth and thanking her. Breathe in and lift the chest up halfway. Your hands can come to your knees or your shins. And then we'll bring the hands down. Step back to hands and knees plank. And lower down all the way to our bellies. Feel ourselves lying with our bellies on the floor. Breathing in, lifting the chest, offering the heart, rising, exhaling, let your head go. Down, hips up, down dog, inverting, flipping everything upside down. I love looking around here, getting my eyes involved for a change of perspective. Step your way up to the top of the mat. Remember, you could have brought a knee down first. Choose ease. Half flat back, breathing in. Forward fold. Are we letting go? Are we practicing that? Rolling the spine upright. This time, if you want, we can come onto the tippy toes as we come up, checking in on our stability of ankles and heels, lowering the heels down, coming forward. Oh, I get to practice letting go over and over again. Half flat back, hands coming to the shins, hands down, stepping back to plank. Maybe try to be mindful to alternate the lead leg. Some of you might want to stay in extended plank. Some of you might want to be on your knees. Lower through. Choose ease and steadiness. Inhale, cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Breathe in, soften the shoulders. Breathe out, tailbone up. Breathe in, push the heels down. Hello, legs. Breathe out, relax the neck. Look forward, let's step the feet up in between the hands. And roll the spine upright. And let's reach. Maybe the tippy toes. Maybe you're like, nope, I'm done with all that. Heels down, forward fold. This time, maybe pull it in a little. Your hands can come behind your calves. And just see, is the body giving you a new edge? A new space of growth, new space for you to occupy. Half flat back, breath in. Palms down, stepping to your version of plank. Make sure it's yours for this moment. And lower down to your bellies. We're going to stay on our bellies, turn our head to one side. Ooh, and now we get to feel ourselves just lying here. We have felt ourselves sitting. We felt ourselves kneeling. We've been in these bodies standing and twisting and bending and standing. Now we get to feel the belly up against the floor, the organs up against the floor. Turn your head to the other side. Okay, we'll prop ourselves up on our elbows. And we'll bend our right knee. Whichever right leg is right to you. Right hand coming back, and see if you can find the foot, the ankle, maybe a pant leg. Try to let this hip stay aiming to the floor. You don't have to pull on that foot if you don't want to. Now we're going to roll over onto our left side. Try to let the inner thighs stay as close together as you can. Relax that right shoulder. And we'll come on back to the belly, release the foot. Keep the belly relaxed so we're getting some pressure, a little massage on our organs here. And then we'll bend the left knee and see if we can find that foot or ankle. Respect this side. This side may say, you ain't grabbing me. You could use a towel or a strap if you like. And if something in your back says, don't do this, don't do it. If something in your knee joint says, don't do it, don't do it. Fill up the belly with breath. And then when you're ready, we'll roll over onto our right side. Oh, notice what you're feeling in your hips, your thighs. Let your neck go. The easiest breath you can have. And then let's come on to our bellies. Now, if you want, let's bend the other knee and see if we can reach back and find both feet or ankles. And just rest your forehead. If you can't grab it, that's fine. Just let it go or just hold one. Now, can you relax your shoulders? Just let your shoulders just slump. It's a great way to start to notice how much am I carrying there? How easy is it to breathe here? Can I not change anything and find an easier way to breathe? Now let both ankles fall outward. So right heel going out to the right, left heel going out to the left. And just breathe. And without snapping, let the feet go. Release the legs back behind you. And we're just going to flip ourselves over onto our backs. So just roll over onto your back. And once you're on your back, on your mat, you can bring the knees into the chest, give them a hug. Now we're lying on our back, looking up at the ceiling, maybe looking out through a window, seeing the sky. Just know that your gaze is facing up to the heavens. Spine resting on the mat, shoulder blades resting on the mat. And maybe just rock and roll a little left and right like a boll weevil. And you let your neck just go. All right, we'll straighten the legs up to the ceiling. Rest your arms down alongside your waist. And just notice how much work is this. We did this posture sitting, Dandasana, staff pose. Your spine is erect here. It doesn't have to do as much work because it's just resting on the floor. Can you drive those heels up to the sky though? And maybe you're surprising yourself at how much work this is. Can you breathe nice and easy? Good. Bring your hands behind your right thigh or knee. Keep the right leg straight and lower the left leg straight down to the floor. Try to push the back of the left leg into the floor and energetically drive the right heel up to the ceiling. And if you want, optional, pull with your arms like you're pulling that straight right leg closer to your face. And breathe. Now keep holding the right leg, bring it back to a neutral position so it's just going straight up to the ceiling. And pull the left leg up to meet the right. Maybe we're humbled into realizing how heavy that leg is. And we'll switch. We'll bring our hands behind the left thigh or knee, flex the left heel to the ceiling, and start to lower the straight right leg down toward the mat, pressing the back of that right leg to the floor. Ooh, and hear everything that left leg wants to tell you. It's been dying to talk to you about this. Drive that left heel up. And even though you can hear whatever that left leg is saying, can you notice something somewhere else in the body that wants to tell you a really nice story? Maybe your shoulders feel nice and relaxed. Maybe you love feeling the breeze through your toes. Notice something that feels good as you start to pull that left leg toward you. Be with the entire body, not just with the complaint section. Breathe in, breathe out. Let that left heel go to a neutral spot. We'll lift the right leg up to meet the left. Good, and then bend the knees into the chest. If you want, lift your forehead up to the knees. You might feel a little stretch in the upper back and neck, shoulder blades down. And lower the head down. Release the arms, and we're going to let both knees drop to the left for a spinal twist, or your right. Now the real test here is, can you just let your legs just go limp? Start to notice how much you're still clenching and trying to control something. Truly practicing accepting this fleshy body as it is right here. Let your cheeks sag. All of your cheeks. Let your flesh sag. Feel the volume of your flesh move as you breathe. Release the weight of your bone. And then we'll bring the knees up to center as smoothly as we can. Try not to grunt or hold the breath. And then we'll go over to the other side. Twisting. You may have noticed lots of twisting, right? The body can twist. The body can bend and fold forward and backward. It can lengthen and it can contract. And our yoga helps us explore, what is my range of movement in these types of movements? And how much ease does my body have when we're in them? In the contraction, in the lengthening? How much ease is in my breath in them? And then the biggest practice ground, how much ease is in my mind? And let's gradually come on back to center. And we get to do a happy baby if you like. It's a really vulnerable position, so you might not feel comfortable doing it. We'll bring our hands in between the thighs and see if you can find the feet with your hands. And just let the knees start to drop toward the floor near the armpit. Oftentimes this might provide some relief in the low back. You can do a few pelvic tilts, kind of subtle, pressing the low back to the floor and relaxing it, pressing the low back to the floor. And maybe rocking, that sometimes feels really good too. So I know I kind of really broke down some things in a really basic manner today. And if you're feeling the need to have more time in your hips, more of anything, really, before you go to bed, see if you want to just do a happy baby for like 5 minutes. It's not a strenuous posture. So you give yourself that time to really see, can I relax? Can I relax? Can I relax? Play some whale sounds if that's your jam, to just really relax. And just feel your hips gradually softening. All right, we'll release, bring the feet down, knees up. We're going to do a bridge before we close. Feet are separated a few inches apart, knees a few inches apart. Before we even lift the hips, this is basically camel lying on our back, okay? So just kind of feel where your body is in position. And when we lift the hips, maybe see if you can try to get those hips into the position that it was in when we were standing on the knees for camel. Lift the chin a little bit for safety for the neck so that there's space under the back of your neck and the back of your neck isn't pushing into the floor. Ready? Let's push through the feet. Lift the hips. Let the tummy breathe. Now, Shannon, if you like, you can reach the arms up to the sky. You can make circles with those arms. Just kind of notice how much you're able to massage in any of that area that was feeling stress while you're in the bridge, all right? So that's up to you. But sometimes working those arms while having the pressure on that upper back helps you massage out some of those pressure points. And we'll lift the hips maybe a little bit more, maybe not. And lower the hips down. Good. Let's straighten both legs out. You could always put a pillow under your knees. Adjust your shoulders for comfort, your head for comfort. If lying on your back flat is aggravating for your back, just curl up on your side or lie on your belly. Eyes open. Let's breathe into the nose. Out the mouth and protrude the tongue. One more time. Breathe in the nose. Out through the mouth and protrude the tongue. Just let the body find relaxation. If you can keep the eyelids open and soft, go ahead. Letting your mind stay awake and present. Sometimes when we close the eyes in Shavasana, we get so relaxed we go to sleep. But this is still a pose, posture of stillness and awareness inside of the stillness. Be aware of what feels good. And if it doesn't feel good, at least what feels okay. It doesn't have to be doing anything. Practicing non-doing takes practice. Undoing all of the doing. We're so accustomed to. Appreciate your body that's breathing, living. Let your mind just observe, living. This is vibrant, alive, right here. Be fully alive, right here. Any amount of ease and non-stress we're feeling here can be our reality as we move, as we talk, as we interact. Because this is our being right here. And if you want to wiggle the toes or fingers or stretch, go for it. Play with it. Try to be perfectly you. And then we'll roll over to one side, eventually coming up to a sitting space. All right, so in that sitting space, we can be at the crisscross applesauce, as I said before, or you could start to play with different things. Here I have shin in front of shin. That opens the hips in a different way, just a little bit more. You might notice maybe some tension or tightness in the knees. It starts to let you know, okay, my hips don't want to open here and the knees are not ready for it. And then, of course, always switching. So this is called Sukhasana. Sukhasana actually means easy pose. Sukha means sugar, easy. Or some of you might want to bring like one heel up toward a hip. This is less basic. We're coming into half lotus. Half of a lotus. It does put a load on your knee. So let's be kind to these joints. Feel the butt bones. Spine is upright. Eyes open. Face is relaxed, reflecting. How are you feeling? Good. Now I'll invite us to bring one hand to the heart and touch that heart with all of the intention as though you're touching, one of these awesome kids' hearts that we're seeing here today. Deliver all of that kind touch to yourself in your own heart. And then the other hand to your belly. With that same tenderness and intention, and feel it, receive it. Feel your breath, feel your heartbeat. And then I'll invite us for an Om. All right, so it's A-U-M, Aum. Or you could just say home, home. And just feel the vibration running through the body and notice how it makes you feel. So a deep breath in. Making sound and expression for no other purpose other than sound and expression. Deep breath. How freely does that sound and expression move through your flesh, through your mind? One more time if you like. Maybe we feel nice and tingly and buzzy. Hands to the heart center. Honoring yourself, holding your heart in your hand gently, so don't smush it. Don't smush it, Yava. All right. All that is love and light and caring in me recognizes all of the love and light and caring that's in you. And that's namaste. So namaste, everyone.